We're going to compare magnifying lamps. We'll go from the cheapest, which would be about $14 for this one. This one would be at the top end. This would be about $1,500. Of course, I spent $5 at the thrift store for it. We've also got one $40, a Harbor Freight brand. So we've got low, medium, high range price. I'll pull this one out of the box so we can compare them all side by side. I've got them all laid out here. I've been using something like this for about 25 years. This one is from Harbor Freight for about $40. And this is the real expensive one that I picked up at the thrift store. This real cheap magnifier for like, I don't know, 15 bucks. The thing is absolutely amazing. Each one of these has a different type of a light source. This one uses an incandescent light bulb. Of course, I've got an LED in here right now. This one has a lot of light, and it may not be as even as the other ones, but the thing is amazing. The one from Harbor Freight has a fluorescent light. The one from Germany, which I'm not even going to attempt the name, is an LED. As I flip it over, you can see the LEDs. The optics on the more expensive ones are definitely bigger, this being the biggest. Now, I've used this one for a lot of years, but I haven't used the more expensive ones. One downfall for sure are the joints and how this thing moves on the cheap. This teeny weeny little ball joint that no matter how you tighten this, it does not hold up the head. On the next one up, I can see it's a lot more burly. And on this one, wow, that is intense. It really holds up the head. On the back of the arm, these little springs will stretch out and, you know, it seems like you have to tape this with electrical tape. This one looks like it's gonna work a little better because it's got a little bit more stiffness in the joint. The more expensive one even has little tensioners on it that you can tighten them up or loosen them up. The bases are definitely different. This one's plastic and, you know, it kind of slips off a little bit more, but overall, this thing works quite well. This one's all made out of metal, and this one, if I would have paid full price, I'm sure I would have got the base, but I did not get the base, unfortunately, but it's like a much bigger round base. In order to get this one to work, I'm probably gonna have to take another base and modify. Here's one in the clamp drawer that we can use. It's gonna take some modification. Yeah, everything needs modification. This bit here is about the closest to the size. Clamp it onto a table and drill it out. Bushing's made out of plastic. It's not as good as the original one, but it'll allow us to test the lights. I'll clamp these all onto a counter. I'll clamp them on, but not too tight. I don't wanna damage the surface. One thing I find with this one is when I tighten it up, it still slides around quite a bit compared to the other style. I do like this style better than this style. I've got them all set up. They all move into the placement that you need them. You can see how chintzy the head is, but it still works. On some of the older ones, I did have to modify and put extra springs on. I'll call this the $15 one, this one the $50 one, and this one the $1,500 one, even though it sells for like $1,700. The motion on this one is better than the $15 one, of course. The motion on the expensive one is really nice. In fact, it does feel better than the $50 one. The $15 one does not have a lens cover. The $50 one does. The $1,500 one has a lens cover, but I'm not exactly sure how the hinge works. I can't get it to snap back on. Kind of surprised that it's not working better than it does. I can see that the lid is broken, so this is gonna need to be fixed, but you would think they would have made that a little bit more burly for the price. Before I compare all the optics, I'll clean them up with some lens cleaner. Knock all the fingerprints off. On this one, it's kind of nice that you can get to the very edge of the lens. The $50 one's pretty clean since it just came out of the box. This one I try to keep clean, but it takes a lot of abuse sitting on that desk. This one, the light turns on from the side. We'll take a look at this watch from 1868. Put it under the lens and kind of adjust it, and you can see pretty clear, pretty nice. Just with a cheap one, you can see why people really like these things. The $50 one has this little switch in the back. Check out the watch with the illumination. Of course, super nice. Is it better than the cheap one? They're both nice. To turn on the $1,500 one, there's a problem with the switch. The rubber came off, but we'll push that little switch on right there and you can see it turns on. The light on the expensive one has the ability to turn on and off and also bring the intensity up and down. Here you can see the light on in the back, and we can also turn on the front. This button here handles the intensity. As I push the button, you can see the intensity goes down and then back up again. The moment of truth, let's see how this one is. Absolutely amazing. But to me, this one is absolutely amazing, and this one is absolutely amazing. Obviously, I like this one the best because it moves nice, everything works real nice. If I'm trying to get a job done, seems like all of them are super nice. I do have to say, from $15 to $50, this is a nice jump. From $50 to $1,500, nice, but $1,500 nice? I'm not sure about that. Now, if you're looking for image, I have to say this one looks pretty nice. And sometimes image is important. If you were wondering what the difference between a $15 one and a $1,500 one is, now you've seen it.